You're watching KRON 4 News at 9.
We just want to reassure our community that this is a horrific event, horrible for all involved, but they are rare.
Now at 9, police arrest a man connected to 3 beatings and sexual assaults. The victims between the ages of 57 to 75 years old. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight for KRON 4 News at 9 o'clock. I'm Dan Thorne.
And I'm Ella Sogomonian. Grant and Vicky have the night off. We know that 2 of the victims are Asian, but as of now, police are not considering the attacks to be hate crimes. Police say the first 2 incidents happened yesterday near Grimmer Boulevard and Blackout Road. Police then learned a 3rd attack happened earlier this month at the Safeway in the Hub Shopping Center. KRON 4's Gail Long is joining us live from Fremont with details from Fremont PD. Gail. Thanks, Gail. In San Francisco, police are offering a $75,000 reward for information in the shooting deaths of these 2 people. 27-year-old Lindsay McCollum and 51-year-old Eddie Tate were shot and killed back on December 16th of 2016 on the northwest corner of 16th Street and South Van Ness Avenue. The 2 were inside of a wooden box that they were using as their home. Along with the reward, police also released this sketch of the person of interest. Anybody with information should call San Francisco police. Now to a big story this afternoon. Governor Gavin Newsom says new mask mandates are coming soon for fully vaccinated Californians.
Yeah, just yesterday, the CDC announced fully vaccinated people do not need to wear masks both outdoors and indoors. Well, Trader Joe's announced today that they will no longer require fully vaccinated customers to wear masks while shopping inside of their stores.
Decision makers at the grocery chain say that this is in compliance with CDC guidelines, and it looks like they're going to be using the honor system. A spokesperson for the company said they will not require proof of vaccination, adding that they trust their customers to follow CDC guidelines. And many say for now they still feel more comfortable wearing a mask. And it's not just Trader Joe's changing their mask requirements today. Other big box stores say they're doing it too.
Yeah, KRON 4's Ken Wayne here now to sort through all of the other companies that are approaching these changes. Well, the organization responsible for operating our state's power grid says it will be better prepared this summer.
Yeah, you might remember it last year. Cal ISO was forced to impose rolling power outages. It wasn't popular, but it was blamed on that triple-digit heat and poor planning. And this year, officials say there is an extra 2,000 megawatts of energy available to take on any expected heat waves. Well, now to our 4-zone forecast, taking a live look outside at the Golden Gate Bridge. Not the fog that we've been seeing these past few days, but we are seeing a cool down today with the winds really picking up. Normally that's a cause for concern because of this early fire season, but luckily some heavy drizzle is headed our way. So let's check in on that weather.
Little pieces of moisture in the atmosphere called drizzle. We're going to see that tomorrow morning, enough that we're likely going to be needing our windshield wipers, and there'll be puddles out there on the roads.
Yeah, it's not rain, but we definitely need it. We'll take what we could get.
Any kind of precipitation. We'll take anything now, yeah.
All right, Lawrence, thanks a lot. Another of the major Republican candidates challenging Governor Newsom was in the Bay Area this week. KRON 4's Catherine Heenan sat down one-on-one with Kevin Faulconer, who served as San Diego mayor for 2 terms, and she joins us live in the studio with a clip from that conversation. Catherine, looking forward to it. Thanks, Catherine. Meantime, Governor Gavin Newsom unveiled his revised and complete state budget proposal. Big-ticket items include health care for undocumented immigrants and stimulus checks for most Californians. KRON 4's Ashley Zavala has the details. Well, get this, more people played golf for the first time this past year than any other year, and that's according to the National Golf Foundation.
That's because the pandemic drove people out on the range, because you might have guessed it, it's an outdoor activity. There's a lot of space out there. Now, one golf course here in the area that previously closed is back open again because of that popularity. KRON 4's Michelle Kingston reports from Brentwood. Thousands of retired pro football players are sounding the alarm over the $1 billion payout from the NFL's settlement of brain injury claims. They say that it's disproportionately impacting black players. So coming up, we're going to speak to a memory and aging expert to get their take on the issue.
Well, today a U.S. district judge received a petition signed by 50,000 retired black NFL players. And this petition is accusing the league of systemic racism in the way concussion settlements have been calculated.
Former players say that the NFL has been using an algorithm that uses an assumption that black men have lower cognitive skills. That in turn reduces the amount of money that they get because they would have to perform lower than the white patients to be awarded that money. The league has declined to comment on this issue, but joining us now for some insight is UCSF neurologist Dr. Elena Tsoi. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So race has historically been considered for certain medical evaluations, but can you explain why it was in this case when testing for dementia or brain damage in these NFL players?
That is a great question. And I think the only group that can answer that question is probably NFL. But I think generally speaking, we can assume that they were used because they were included as a part of the NFL assessment protocol, which is the protocol that they have put forward for clinicians who are a part of those assessment centers we're using.
And what was the difference here, doctor, between how black and white patients were treated, and what sort of disadvantage are we looking at here for these black patients in this settlement?
It is exactly as you described. It's basically what these norms mean is that a black player who might have the same symptoms, the same history of disease, and exactly same scores on these tests, their scores would be interpreted differently, and they have to do significantly worse than a white player with a similar background in order to actually qualify for the settlement.
So, Dr. Tsoi, does this test essentially assume that the black players weren't as educated or came from poor backgrounds? And why could this be harmful in this particular case?
That's a great question. And I think it really has to do with the fact that these norms, when they just originally constructed, meaning these algorithms that NFL has used in their protocol, they were based off of a study that was done back in 1990s and only included African Americans who lived in the San Diego area. So ultimately, we're comparing the performance of Black NFL players to this rather small group of people who lived in San Diego in 1990s, and this definitely does not reflect the economic and social diversity of African Americans who play NFL.
Is there any way that the NFL could defend doing this?
Great question. I honestly do not know how they would, particularly because I think there is a growing number of experts who criticize these norms and who agree that the best clinical care would not rely just on these numbers ultimately, that it has to include a good evaluation, a neurological exam, laboratory tests, and all the things that we typically do in clinical care. So I think I am honestly not sure how they would defend this practice.
Well, thank you so much to Dr. Elena Tsoi from UCSF and joining us to discuss this issue.
Absolutely. It was such a pleasure to meet you. Bye-bye.
In other news, high praise for police tonight from the owner of a San Jose jewelry store that was victimized by a brazen smash and grab robbery in San Jose.
KRON 4's Ron Flatibo has the owner's reaction to the news that these three suspects have been arrested in the case. The appearance of a black bear in San Anselmo surprising many people in the area, but also the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, who responded to help shoo it back into Mount Tam.
KRON 4's Maureen Kelly spoke to an official who says that people should know that the bear could come back.
We're going to look now at our 4-zone forecast. This is a live look over the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza. Looks like there's a bit of a backup heading into the city.
Yeah, and also the wind has been picking up out there. Chief Meteorologist Lawrence Carno has the details on what you need to know. Yeah, not too bad, but definitely not beach weather, so.
No, you better pack your long johns and everything else if you're going to the beach.
The
It's going to be
poncho,
cold
yeah.
out there.
And the poncho.
Windbreaker and all that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lawrence.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ohio State University announcing its findings in a school investigation into female massage therapists who use social media to target OSU football players and in some cases for sex.
Jared Smalley reports from Columbus. That was Jared Smalley reporting for us tonight. Well, one cat's remarkable survival tale when a building goes up in flames. We'll have that story next. Okay, welcome back. Get this, a cat that landed a 5-story jump from a burning building and walked away. That's not funny, Dan.
It's pretty good. Hennessy's
Well, he's
long
now
leap.
missing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not good. So Hennessy's long leap was actually caught on camera, as you saw there. This happened in a Chicago neighborhood yesterday, and Julian Cruz has the latest on the search to find this cat.
Well, that was Julian Cruz reporting for us tonight, and that wraps up KRON 4 News at 9.
Yeah, but our primetime news continues at the top of the hour. Catherine Heenan and Ken Wayne joining us now with more.
We are all hoping the cat is okay.
We are.
right.
Yeah.
For the record.
A couple of cat owners here.
Cat lovers.
We want them to be okay.